Okay, this is a 1995 Caterham Super 7 S3. And originally it was ordered as a kit car and meant for competition, so it has some differences in its layout. These were all kit cars. You could buy them assembled, or you could buy them as a kit and assemble them yourself, or you could buy partial cars and put your own engines in and so forth and so on. At the time, I think they're a little more, they still make them. I think they're a little stricter about what they will sell you and what they won't sell you these days. This car started life and is still pretty much exactly the same as the original Lotus 7, which was, Lotus started building Lotus 7s in 1957. And there was a Mark I, which was a spindly little thing, and then there was a Mark II, which looked a little bit more like this, and then the Mark III, which looked like this one, and then Lotus went on actually to make a Mark IV, which nobody liked, but they're out there. Right around 1972 or so, Lotus said, you know, we got to get out of the business of making these. We're starting to be a more serious enterprise, and we want to get into the business of, you know, building, real cars like Elans and other things. And I guess their racing enterprise was picking up as well. They were Formula One, and they were modifying, cars for other teams, and they were doing quite a lot of racing, IndyCar, all kinds of stuff. So they said, we're going to stop making Lotus 7s, and they were still a very, very popular car. So one of the big car dealers in England, Caterham, said, let's keep making them, and approached Colin Chapman and made a deal with them to continue to make the cars. And you can buy a brand new one today. So that's 66 years from the beginning of the Lotus 7 until now. So this is, here's a badge. Sorry about the lighting on here. It's a little hard to see. I don't know if I can block that or not. I can block one of them, but not two of them. It's a Caterham Super 7 Sprint. Don't know what the Sprint means. Very simple, basic car. It's got those cute little headlights. On this model, the yellow bits that you see, the fenders and this nose cone, are fiberglass. The rest of the car, the skin of the car, is aluminum that's riveted onto a steel space frame underneath. This, as I said, this car was originally intended as a race car, and so it has this type of roll bar in it. You see how it tilts forward? I'm still learning about these things, but this is a race style, FIA style perhaps, roll bar that is meant for competition, and there's actually a brace that bolts in up here and then comes down across to here, bolts in there as an additional support. That's out right now so that a passenger can get in the car. You see the 4-point seat belts for driver and passenger. The driver's side is actually a 6-point. There's, see the 2 more points on the floor down there. There's none over here on this side. You also notice there's no carpets or anything. It's just bare aluminum in here. Lots of aluminum. Seats. I don't even know why there's 2. I guess because they wanted to carry passengers, but the seats are just very thin aluminum with some very thin padding underneath, and then very thin vinyl cover. Very colorful, but very thin. Not, hugely comfortable, but you're not going to be in the car that long anyway. You can only be in one of these for a certain amount of time before you're ready to just take a little break. There's a kill switch, again, another competition thing, but you'll see those on road going ones too. It can be a handy thing. It kills all battery, it disconnects the battery from the electrical system in the car entirely. Dashboard's pretty simple. It's got some, the person I bought it from added this windshield. It originally just had a little Brooklyn screen over here on the driver's side. But he wanted it licensed for the road to sell it. And so he added this windshield, which has a little, see this little wire going here that goes, I guess it electrically heats the windshield somehow, so that it's something you need to have a car licensed for the road. So there's a seat heater switch here, four-way flashers. I'm not sure what that one's for, to be honest with you, because the light switches are over there. There's oh, this is the electrical fan. There's no engine fan, there's just an electrical fan. That's brake warning if something goes wrong with the, it's got a dual master cylinder, so that's a brake warning light. If something goes out of whack with the dual master cylinder circuit. This is a choke control. This is the turn signals. Nice, huh? And that one, I don't know. And that's the wipers, oh. And then there's some headlight switches over here, including like a flasher and a high and a low beam. And then there's the two gauges, a speedometer and a tachometer. That is it. Gear shift, of course, it's a 4-speed. His car has a Lotus twin cam engine in it, which is Cortina based, and it's a Cortina gearbox in this one too. It's a 4-speed. Those, even though the car's in 1995, those are from the 60s. This is it's a real throwback machine. I'll show you under the hood in a little bit. There's where the levers stick out of the hood. Louvers in the hood, kind of neat. I don't know if you can see it or not, maybe a little bit, but I get the right angle. But I'm not sure I can show it to you. The radiator cap is about less than a half an inch, about a half an inch beneath the level of the hood there, just underneath those louvers. Suspension is pretty basic. It's a double A arm up front. Originally, this car and the Caterhams of the time, and the Caterhams earlier, and Lotuses earlier, the sway bar, which is this bar, was the locator of the suspension and the upper location point of the suspension, front suspension. The original owner had an A-frame added, that's this part here, to locate the front suspension, and the sway bar became just the sway bar. The brakes are from, I guess this end, the spindle is Triumph of that vintage, maybe Spitfire. And there's some, see them there, Girling discs, front and rear, steel brake lines going out to them, and then the framework to hold the fender. This is a cycle fender car. I like the cycle fenders. A lot of people like those, they call them clamshell fenders that sweep up along the side. They're very dramatic looking, but I like the cycle fenders. So let's see what else. So the cute little headlights, we talked about those. Grill, there's a more deluxe grill that has a 7 made out of the frame. It's like a metal, it's like a steel frame there. The steel wire, there's a 7 on it, and this one doesn't have that. It's a race car, it doesn't need that stuff. Let's see what else. Exhaust coming out the side, the wrap over it, the heat tape or heat cloth is, again, the fellow wanted to license it for the street, and he needed to put that on for it to become street legal. There's an open question in my mind, at least, as to how long it'll stay. Yeah, mini light style wheels. I think they're Panasports. Kumho tires, which, well, they're the right size, but they make for exciting handling because they don't, the car will overdrive them easily. It's a tight fit in here. I don't know if I can show you let's see here, turn this, I can't turn it that way. Just trying to squeeze this down a little bit. See if I can show you the pedals. No, yeah, is it on there? Yeah. No, get a little further. Oops. There we go. So those are the pedals. Pretty close together, pretty tight space. You wear your little shoes when you're in this car. And even then, your feet overlap. There's no power anything on this. There's no power steering. There's no power brakes. There's no anti-lock brakes. There's no traction control. There's none of that kind of thing. This is a very, very basic automobile. It's a engine, a transmission, and a rear axle, and a steering wheel, and some tires on the corners, and that's about it. See if I can get under the back, show you under there. There we go. Center. Stay back there. Behave. Okay, there's a fire extinguisher, which is probably original to the car and needs to be replaced or refreshed. I'm probably going to put a fire suppression system in, so I'll have to figure out how that goes. This is a little bag that I added that, well, I added the strap, but the bag has a jack. My video stopped all by itself. A GoPro did that. What do I know? I keep learning about these things, and it's not all pleasant. Here's where the spare tire would go if it had one. There's no bolt assembly here to hold it in or anything, but I guess they just stuck those on the back anyway. So I don't know if I'll put a spare tire on it or not. I guess I should. Anyway, I will get around to taking the hood off the car. Oh, here's the logo in the back. And I apologize somewhat for the condition of the aluminum. It seems like the people that own these take a good bit of pride in having real shiny aluminum, but to be honest with you, that's not really my thing. All right, I'll stop this and go take the hood off.